Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. Hope everyone is doing great. Okay, let's just do a forecast. We're gonna start with obviously Forex Factory, and our focus is on USD, Euro, and also the Great British Pound. FOMC on Wednesday. I think that's the biggest upon my list. So the reason as to why we look at news is essentially to know when can we expect the most from the market in terms of bigger moves. I'm talking about 20 pips, 30 pips, instant moves. So yeah, FOMC, I'll be on the lookout for it, as we are smart money traders. SMC, we trade news actually, so because they have to liquidate areas and zones, and then they drag price to the other direction. But for starters, let's just look at the DXY, right, the dollar index. We're gonna go monthly. This is now an overview. Obviously monthly it's going to be just 12 candles added from here, so there's not going to be a significant difference, but let's just look at it. Obviously you can see this breaking of structure underneath, so there's expectation of price to continue lower, and what we are currently witnessing is price reaching to these areas. Obviously there's going to be some orders to liquidate there, and we could be expecting furthermore bullish push to the upside. As we have seen last month, it has been a very strong bullish month. We could expect the same. To further add on those points, we can identify that price initially broke structure underneath. We were expecting that these order blocks here, that they should hold, and indeed they held. However, we didn't continue to break structure underneath. However, we went ahead to break our previous high. So the narrative here could be prices either stop hunting this area for a continuation underneath, or this is now a formal break of structure for a continuation above. But yeah, let's just continue looking at other pairs as far as how the dollar stands. But if I were to choose a direction, which obviously it's hard to do, I would expect price to at least continue further up to liquidate more of the orders above. Just gonna pull up a feed there. Maybe if price could come to the 79 to the 90 area, it would be good, but the 62 is already a good enough value for price to actually continue underneath. All right, so let's talk about gold. I'm gonna take everything out, and we're gonna have to look at it from the weekly. And what do we have? We actually have interesting price action here. To those who are using trends, we can tell that we've been in a very nice continuation pattern, and we expected price to break above, which it did. Price broke above the continuation pattern, and it actually completed it, right? And we are actually expecting more further bullish push to the upside, but to our surprise, price sort of came back to these zones and areas. So what do we see here as far as price actions concerned and smart money concepts is that we actually had a downtrend, and the only time that price broke structure, proving a shift of market structure, it's here, proving that price is now looking to continue further up. And what we can also see is that price came to mitigate some of the order blocks that are here. Now this is on a weekly perspective, so the directional bias could actually change when you are trading intraday. So as you can tell, this could be a very good bullish outlook, and I do encourage everyone to look for bulls. Nonetheless, the market will lead us. There are actually equal lows here to those who trade liquidity, so it could be that there is more money lying underneath. There's some gaps here, insufficient price action, some equal lows here, you know. But again, the market doesn't have to come back here. This is just points and references as to where do we expect price to move in the near future. And this is a weekly chart. Let's just go daily for more reference. As we can see already, price is making means to continue going bullish. Okay, in this case we can just look at structure. Let me just look at it in 4 hour to get more perspective on it. We've been on a downtrend and we started breaking structure to the upside. So as we are breaking structure to the upside, we came, we returned to origin. I will talk about it in other videos. We returned to origin and now we are making our way above. I wouldn't want to marry the market direction as yet, as far as being bullish, but however, I would want to see price to at least have it retrace to some significant areas. And what are my zones? This could be the first one and this could be the second one, right? So in essence, I'm expecting for price to come here so that we continue bullish, for price to come either there to continue bullish. But what can happen now, apart from this bullish outlook, is that price can be only just mitigating this area. All right, so to those who are trading break and retest, it is actually part of SMC, but we call it something else. But because we have a larger audience, I'm just gonna use the break and retest type of analysis. So price broke this level and now it's retesting it, and it could be continuing further lower. Okay, so what to look for then as a trader? There's two options. The first option is that I'm waiting for price to actually come around here or here for us to go up. Okay, what we can do for this week, all right, we can be expecting for price to actually go lower. This is now gonna be an indication from what we see price doing in this area. So if you are a smart money trader, obviously you want to see some confirmation as far as price breaking structure and proving to be going lower. And as we can see, part of this structure is being challenged, this one and also this one. So price could be coming back here, and then we could see price further breaking structure lower. So we'll talk about structure. We'll have a separate video for it. Okay, so I gave you two directional bias. You can have your selling position here. Should price actually respect this order block and continue lower, you could have your target somewhere there in this low. Okay, or should price get lower, we could be looking for bullish moves from here or here, and then again your target would probably be the most recent highs, being this one and that one. Okay, so I'm gonna move because of time. I'm gonna go to EURUSD. This is actually my favorite pair, the most traded pair being my favorite. So in general here, my target is that we're gonna have price to continue breaking structure underneath, right? This is my goal. So I'm just crossing my fingers on it. But obviously, as we have seen the DXY we've seen that there's potential for the USD to get more stronger. So it could be that price can continue breaking structure underneath, right? So as far as now, I just feel like they've just created equal lows. So people who were buying here, they had a lot of orders of buys here with hope that price will continue up, but perhaps price will come down and liquidate this zone effectively before it continues bullish. Okay, so let's just go through the overview here. So obviously I always keep two market directional bias perspectives because I don't own the market, fairly obvious, and we are at the mercy of the market maker, but we can obviously learn the market maker moves, and we can tell perhaps as to what is he trying to do. So there's a story that is being painted by price, but we'll furthermore just talk about it for EURUSD. For some reason here, I'm just believing on some good buys. Good buys. So okay, didn't mean it like that, but either way, there's just a huge huge bullish move. So normally what happens when price sort of moves aggressively in a direction is to liquidate some areas in a very rapid manner, and the objective could be to continue that into the direction. Okay, so I know my heart is actually here, you know, this is how I see it, you know, this is my heart, as I said, that we're just gonna get to see more price selling. But analyzing this move, you could just really tell that there's a huge interest to go bullish, and we've already broken structure. So even when price would have to come back and liquidate some of the areas to continue bullish, just because of the volume of the orders that were incurred in this area, I wouldn't suspect, or rather expect, to have a very deep retracement to fulfill some of the orders here before we go bullish, right? So this is what I mean. So obviously you're gonna have a lot of areas, okay, to expect price for a bullish move. Okay, so please bear with me. I'm not gonna highlight the order blocks, I'm just gonna highlight a zone because price normally doesn't come to order blocks, though it does in some cases, and in some cases it doesn't. So it's actually an area. So what's interesting for you to know is what price gets to do when it reaches a specific area. So there you go. My expectation is that perhaps they're just gonna move price from here if we are continuing bullish, right? So perhaps for interest sake, let's use the order block. So this is how my bullish setup will look like. And where do we have the buy? There you go. This is how my bullish setup will look like. Okay, so when I expect price to come here, liquidate some of the orders here, and then take price bullish. But as I told you, I'm married to the sell bias for some reason. I don't know. Here's my narrative. If you buy it, you can buy it. So my narrative is we are at a very primitive order block, a very good one. Here's the reason. I'm not gonna go into detail. We have broken structure, so breakout structure really does mean that price is gonna go to a certain direction, but breakout structure is a retracement of another time frame. So I'll explain that deeper in other videos, but this breakout structure for me won't necessarily mean that now price has shifted away from its original bias. If you can check your daily bias or your weekly bias, we actually have it bearish, right? So what you're looking for is areas where you're gonna sell. Okay, so I'm honestly just looking for a sell position here, because the market is heavy sell in the overview, like overall overview. Okay, so it's in a good position. So for this week, I'm honestly just gonna look for sells here. So sells means that the USD is gonna strengthen, right? And as we were checking the DXY here, we were expecting that price could at least, push and fill some of these areas here, the insufficient price action that is here. Okay, so it's in confluence, if it's the right word, or in agreement with our directional bias. Okay, I spent so much time in EURUSD. Let's go GU quickly. GU is already marked up, which is good, but I'm just gonna delete those markups for interest sake, so that we just start afresh. So if you can tell, because all of them have USD, they probably just look the same. Okay, they're sharing the USD, right? So you would honestly be expecting the same setup in most cases, unless otherwise, but in most cases they are all gonna be pulling in the same direction, all right, most of the time. So your expectation is to have price a directional bias that you're gonna have to see playing in all of them. Okay, just quickly run through. I'm gonna waste your time. Okay, this one I use trend analysis, right? Why? Because I feel like GU, not that other pairs doesn't respect trends, but they sort of make more sense in GU. We'll talk about trends. So SMC traders, please forgive me. I do not trade trends. I trade price action, actually. So this is just for confluence. If you've done trend trading before, you would know how flawless it is, right? And though there's missing parts about it, it's interesting to also use it in confluence with other trading methodologies. Okay, so this is not to banish any smart money traders, but this is what we have. Okay, great. So I'm expecting an expansion pattern. We're not going to talk in details about it, the video is already long enough, but we're expecting for price to stop hunt these areas, at most come to this order block before we look for a sell. Okay, check your analysis and let's agree on it. So currently price is bullish, so if you were to look for any trade, you might need to look for bullish trades. Okay, and this might last the rest of the week, I'm not sure, but because there's FOMC, we might see some bigger moves that will liquidate this area, probably tap in there before we break structure lower. Okay, so even if it doesn't get there, we could at least then be expecting price to continue lower here. Okay, so you'll have your setup like that. Okay, fair enough, right? Yeah, fair enough. Okay, good. So there you have it, guys. GBPUSD, EURUSD, and XAUUSD. Cheers, fam. Keep well. Enjoy your trading week. We'll talk about the reviews on Sunday. Love you guys. Bye.